Hi, today we're going to learn how to measure. It's very simple, very easy. First thing we're going to do is, those of you that have a filter like this where you have a little door that opens up either on the ceiling or on the wall, basically all you have to do is measure from one side to the other side, from up to bottom. And notice that you have like a little ledge here, a little lip, and our frame will just go right in there. It'll be held right in there. So just make sure that you just measure and give us the dimensions, and mention that this is a what we call a frameless. That's what you have to call it, frameless, and that's how we call it. So just make sure that if you have something like this with a little trapdoor, I call it frameless, and then we'll know what you're talking about. That's the code word that we have for it, frameless, and then we'll know that that's it. And that's basically how you do it. You just take your measuring tape and measure from one side to the other. Okay, now one of the temptations that you're going to have is going to be to take the filter that's already in there and look at the size that says right here, like this is just a sample, a small one, right, 10 by 10, and you're going to read, oh, it's a 10 by 10. But what you need to be aware of, and this is an eye-opener maybe for you, is that most people don't realize that it's not 10 by 10. It's actually, if you measured it, okay, if you took it like this and you took the time to measure it, it would say 9 3/4. I don't know if you can see that there, 9 3/4, okay, by 9 3/4. They take out 1/4 of an inch. Now, I don't know why they do that. On some of them, it actually says actual size, but in this one it doesn't. It just says 10 by 10, and it's not really 10 by 10. So make sure that you don't go by just by this. Make sure that you actually measure. In some cases, you may have bought a brand new unit, and like it comes already with something like this. This is again washable. It only catches 10% of the dust, and all you have to do is just take one of these and measure it, okay, and measure the size and the width and the length, and then you don't need to measure the thickness because it's always 1 inch. And then again, this is another sample of something that you already get with the unit. They're called the Rheems or the Rudd's air conditioning. Again, you just take your measuring tape and you just measure, and this will be good enough just by measuring the actual filter. Now, if you're absolutely sure that the filter that you bought at the hardware fits in there perfectly and it covers all of the diameter of your air conditioning air handler, then you can go ahead and measure that and then give us those measurements. The other thing that you can do if you want to get real technical, what you do is you go into your air conditioning unit, and your air conditioning unit, the inside, which is the air handler, they call it the air handler, it looks like this. It's a box like this, and then it has a little trap door down here. You take out the little trap door. There's many different ways of taking it out, and in there is your filter, and you just slide the filter out, and you can measure from this side to this side. It gives you the width, and then you have to put the measuring tape all the way to the back and make sure that it goes all the way to the back, because if it doesn't, then you'll have a gap. Now, if I were to look at it from the bottom, and let's say I were to look at it like this from the bottom, you want to make sure that your measuring tape, you know, this is the front here, that your measuring tape hits all the way to the back, because if not, you're going to have a gap here, and then all the dust will go through there, obviously. So you want to make sure that you measure all the way to the back and to the sides. Here, what you're going to have on the sides are going to be like 2 channels, and they're going to look something like this. And the channels is what holds the filter or the frame. And you just measure from here to here, from this side to this side. And if you measure from there to there, we know, like for instance, if you were to say from here to here is 20 inches, right? Even if we gave it to you at 19 and a half, since we have 3/4 of an inch here and 3/4 of an inch here, it's still going to sit on there because it's only half an inch. But just go ahead and measure from this side to this side, and then again make sure that your measuring tape goes all the way up to the back. Now, there are some units out there that are old, antiques, and different kinds of sizes, different kinds of styles. I know in apartment buildings, for instance, instead of sliding it in like a drawer, you slide it like this, downwards. But it's the same thing. You have these 2 channels, and just measure from side to side and make sure you go all the way to the bottom. If you have any difficulty in doing this simple type measurements, all you have to do is take a picture or a video and just send it to us, upload it to us, send us the picture, we'll look at it, and we'll be able to talk you through it or email you through it, and we'll actually know what size it is. So that's basically it. There's not that much to it. Just remember again, a review, don't go exactly by what it says on the side. because if you do that, you're going to be thrown off. And hopefully you'll get the right measurements. And again, if you don't, then what we'll do is we'll contact each other over the phone or through the email, and we'll solve this for you. We'll get you a nice filter in there so you can start breathing fresh, clean air. Again, thank you very much for joining us, and see you in the next video.